would literally just eat it every day and stick my head in the pot if I could, because it tastes that good. 3 portions out of it, like that's £1.50 per meal. If you don't eat good, your brain ain't gonna work. So yeah. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi, my name's Shivani and I make videos on a whole bunch of stuff like beauty, medicine, fashion, lifestyle, and now apparently cooking and food. And if you're not new here, then thank you so much for coming back, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying the content. Today's video is going to be the first of a very different kind of video that I've never done on my channel before, which is going to be a cooking video, and I'm going to be sharing you some of my favorite recipes that I like to cook as a university student. They're cheap and super easy, but also healthy, and they taste good, which is the most important thing. Now, I am not a vegetarian, so the recipes in this video are mostly non-veg recipes, apart from one which is a vegetarian one, but they can be tailored to make it veg. So you can get corn substitutes for the chicken and stuff like that. Shout out to my brother-in-law, who is an amazing cook and who gave me the best chicken and sweet corn soup recipe, and it is so good and like warms my soul. Oh my god, it is so good, guys. Like, you have to try this. I would literally just eat it every day and stick my head in the pot if I could, because it tastes that good. All the ingredients that I mentioned in this video are super affordable and super cheap. I think when I did my shop for this video, I spent around £15 and I made 5 meals out of it, and there were plenty of leftovers, so that's averaging at what, like £3 per meal, less if you can get like 2-3 portions out of it. Like that's £1.50 per meal. Yes, the occasional takeout is absolutely fine, but me personally, I can't live on takeout and like packet ramens every single day, because I just feel like ugh. So I have to cook fresh food, and I enjoy cooking, and it is super important as a student to know how to cook and enjoy what you eat and eat healthily as well, because if you don't eat good, your brain ain't gonna work. So yeah, but anyway, this is kind of classically what I like to cook, some of my favorite recipes, and they're super easy and super tasty, and I really hope that you guys enjoy. First up is my favorite kind of pasta. For this, you will need a handful of mushrooms, you'll need some grated cheese, you'll need some double cream, some pasta, 1 red onion, and 2 garlic cloves. So firstly, you're just going to fry the onions and the garlic in a little bit of olive oil, and then add the mushrooms, fry those a little bit until they're cooked. And I added some ham into this recipe because I was feeling it, and my pasta is boiling away. Then I added the cheese and the cream, turned up the heat, and waited for the cheese to dissolve into the cream and for it to all get really hot. I then added some basil, gave it a bit of a stir, and your pasta sauce should look like something like this. I also added salt and pepper as well. Finally, when your pasta is done and you've drained the water, then you want to just mix it into the pasta sauce like so. So this is actually my brother-in-law's recipe. It is so yummy and so easy to do. You just need some spring onion, some salt, pepper, sesame oil, sweet corn, some butter, chicken stock cubes. I'm putting some green chili in here, a good few cloves of garlic, and some chicken. So first I'm adding a bit of sesame oil and some butter to the pan, and I'm getting it really hot and making sure that it's all melted. Then I'm adding my cloves of garlic, my chilies, and my spring onions to the pan. Once that's all in, give it a bit of a stir, add a generous amount of salt and pepper, and it should look something like this. Then I'm going to add my stock cubes dissolved in boiling water, the chicken, and then I'm going to stick the lid on the pan and let it simmer for about 20 minutes until the chicken is cooked. Once the chicken is cooked, I didn't actually film this, but you basically need to take it out of the pot, shred it with a fork and knife, and then add it back into the soup, and it should look something like this. I've also added the sweet corn here, and then finally I'm just adding some egg, which I've mixed beforehand, and stirring it in slowly. And this is the final result. I had it with crusty bread, added some soy sauce and sesame oil on top. Next is aubergine curry. So I love Indian food, and sometimes you really just need a taste of home. So the first thing that I'm doing is I am grinding 1 onion, a couple of garlic cloves, a couple of chilies, and a little bit of ginger. And I'm grinding it in my manual grinder. This is actually such a useful tool. You can get it from Amazon for about $7.99, and it is so useful and works really well. I'm then moving on to chopping my aubergine. So I'm just chopping it to get it into small chunks really, because it's going to shrink up when you cook it anyway. Okay, so I've added some olive oil to my pot and I've got it really hot, and then I'm adding the ground up onions, chili, garlic and ginger, and it should look something like this. Then I'm adding my spices. So I'm adding salt, turmeric, ground masala, chili powder, and a little bit of paprika I think went in there. Then I added a spoonful of tomato puree and the aubergine, giving it a bit of a stir until all the spices are mixed in with everything that is in the pot. And then I'm adding a little bit of water and popping the lid on, and I think I let this simmer for about 15 minutes or so, and it should look something like this, and then it's done. Normally I would make roti, but I really couldn't be asked today, so I'm going with the trusty Shana parathas. And then I just had it with some yogurt on the side. Next up is my chicken, bacon, mushroom and thyme pie. So for this, you will need, say, 1 chicken breast, a couple of streaks of bacon, some salt, pepper, ground thyme, you can use fresh if you want, chicken stock cubes, puff pastry, 1 red onion and a handful of mushrooms, and 2 cloves of garlic. So the first thing you want to do is heat some oil in the pan and fry the chicken and the bacon until it is basically almost cooked. Then I added some red onion and stirred it into the chicken to get it cooked. I'm also adding some salt and some pepper, and then I'm adding my mushrooms. After that, I added a generous amount of my thyme. You can use fresh if you want. Then once that's all stirred through and cooked a little bit more, I am then going to add my chicken stock cube and a dash of milk. I actually added a bit more milk because I like quite a creamy pie filling, but it is up to you how much you choose to add. And then give it a good stir. I also added a tablespoon of flour. This is to just get it to the right consistency and thicken up the sauce a little bit. After about 5 or 10 minutes so of cooking, it is ready to be transferred into the pie dish. So all you need to do is just pour it all into your pie dish, and then take your sheet of puff pastry and pop it over the top. I pre-cut this so that it fit the size of my pie dish and that it will just lie over it like so. And then I'm just sealing the edges around the pie dish a bit so it doesn't move too much as it rises and cooks. Finally, I'm just coating the top of the pastry with a bit of milk. You can use egg for this, and ideally you should have one of those brush things to coat it, but I didn't, so I'm just using my hands. And that went in the oven for about 12 minutes, and the final result looks something like this. I had it with a bit of broccoli on the side and it was super yummy. So finally, bangers and mash, which is my all-time favorite. For this, I like to use the Bisto onion gravy. So you need some potatoes, you need 1 onion, and of course you need some sausages. These are just some ones that I really liked and that needed using up anyway. So the first thing you need to do is cook your sausages and put them in the oven. They normally take around 30 to 40 minutes or so. It depends how well done you like them. Then I'm moving on to peeling my potatoes, and then I'm transferring them into a pot ready to be boiled. And then moving on to chopping my onion into long streaks, I suppose. Then you just need to add some boiling hot water to your potatoes. Check on your sausages, give them a bit of a shake, turn them over so that all of the sides get nicely done. Then I'm going to fry my onions. So I'm just adding a little bit of olive oil to my frying pan and adding the onions. You want to give them a bit of the stir, and they normally need cooking for about 5 to 10 minutes or so, stirring occasionally, and they should look something like this halfway through, and your potatoes should be boiling by now. Once the sausages are done, take them out of the oven and let them stand to rest. Once you have drained the water from your potatoes, you need a masher and you need to just mash that potato up. I like to add a bit of butter to my mashed potato and also a dash of milk. Of course, a little bit of salt and pepper has to also go in there. And then you just need to give it all a good stir, and that is your mashed potato done. Pop your mashed potato onto your plate and then pop the sausages on top of the mash. To make the gravy, it is so easy. You just need a couple of tablespoons of the gravy granules, and all you need to do is just add boiling water and stir it to get it all smooth. Be careful not to add too much water because then it will go runny, but even if you do add too much water, you can just add more gravy granules to get the thickness how you want it. Add your fried onions on top and then top the whole thing with your gravy. and this is the final result. This is one of my all-time favorites. It's just so cozy and like reminds me of home, and it's so yummy. And those were 5 of my favourite recipes that I like to cook. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and of course let me know if you try any of these recipes and how they went. Let me know if you want to see more like this in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, all of that jazz, and until next time, see ya.